We've all done it, right? Telling ourselves, oh, I'll start tomorrow, or maybe next week, or, when things are just right. Well, today, we're going to dig into the real reason we do that. We're going to explore one simple, super powerful idea: the absolute urgent need to stop waiting and just start right now. Because here's the thing, the hard reality. The world is not going to stop spinning just for you to catch up. Not a chance. The days are just going to keep slipping by while you sit there waiting for that perfect moment. And you hear that? That's the clock. It will not stop ticking. Every single second that passes, poof, it's gone forever. You don't get it back. Time is moving, plain and simple, whether we are or not. So the very first thing we have to get our heads around is this. The idea of a perfect start, it's a total myth. It just doesn't exist. It's fiction, really. It's a story we tell ourselves to feel better about staying exactly where we are. And this right here brings us to our first major roadblock, what I'm calling the myth of perfect. We're going to completely dismantle this idea that you should wait for all the stars to align, because honestly, it's a losing game. So how many of these sound familiar? We tell ourselves, oh, things will get easier later, or I don't have all the answers yet. We're waiting for this perfectly clear path to appear, or for some kind of guarantee that we'll succeed. But really, let's be honest, these are all just different ways of saying the exact same thing. I'm waiting for a perfect moment that, guess what, is never going to show up. Okay, so let's get real for a second. Let's be truthful. If we're actually serious about getting anywhere, we have to ask ourselves one very direct question. What's really stopping you? And that question, well, it leads us straight to the real obstacle. Because it's not really about timing, is it? It's not about resources, it's about fear. It's time we unmask all those excuses we tell ourselves and just call them what they actually are. And this is where we really pull back the curtain on the language we use. When we say, oh, I'm just a perfectionist, what we're really saying is we're afraid of making something that isn't perfect. Or how about I'm just playing it safe, playing conservatively. That's just fear of loss. Even something that sounds harmless, like, I'm okay with where I am. That can be a shield against the fear of trying for more and maybe failing. See, it all comes back to fear. Our brains are brilliant at this stuff. It's called rationalization. It's the clever logic we cook up to justify staying exactly where we are. We call our biggest goals dreams because it keeps them at a safe distance. And hey, the logic kind of works, right? Technically, if you've never had it, you've never lost it. But here's the big paradox, the trap in that logic. When you refuse to even begin, you're not actually protecting yourself from loss. No way. You are, in fact, losing everything. All the possibility, all the growth, all the experiences that are just sitting there waiting for you. So, what's the answer? What's the way out of this? It's surprisingly simple, and that's what we're jumping into next. Your only job is to begin. That's it. That's the simple prescription for overcoming all that paralysis we've been talking about. Now, to get there, it does take a little mental shift. Think of it like a few key steps. First, you've got to trade that vague, dreamy someday for a very real right now. Then you have to stop seeing what you want as some impossible thing way out on the horizon. Stop looking at success like it's some stranger you'll never meet. And the last part, the most important part, you just take a single step forward. Look, it really all boils down to this. It is not your job to have it all figured out. It's not your job to guarantee the outcome. Your one and only requirement, your only job is to begin. Okay, but what happens when we do begin? What if we stumble? What if we fall flat on our face? Well, our final section is all about that. It's about the reward for falling down and why being in the middle of the struggle is so much better than just watching from the sidelines. And hey, let's be totally honest here. The beginning is probably not going to be pretty. In fact, those first few steps, they might go terribly wrong. It might be absolutely terrifying. You might even discover some really hard truths about your plans, maybe even about the people around you. But you know what? If you push through that initial mess, something incredible starts to happen. Those terrifying first steps, they start to turn into real, actual confidence. Your sense of purpose gets louder, it's amplified. And those inner demons you were so worried about, they start to get quiet, they diminish, and eventually, they just evaporate. Every step you take makes the next one just a little bit easier. And trust me, the higher you climb, the better the view gets. And that really lays out a fundamental choice, doesn't it? As the source material puts it, would you rather be someone who falls 1,000 times and just keeps getting back up stronger? Or would you rather be someone who just looks at the world through a window? I mean, here's the trade-off, right there in black and white. The person who's actually in the arena, yeah, they've got scrapes, they've got bruises. The person sitting by the window, not a single scratch on them. But they also have a very, very limited view. The person in the arena, they have no limits. So really, you gotta ask yourself, which one is worth it? Because when you really get down to it, it all comes down to this. Nobody is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you. The only permission slip you have ever needed was your own. So, it's time. It's time to stop staring at the door. Stop analyzing the doorknob. Stop worrying about what might be on the other side. It's time to just open the door and begin. That's it. That is the whole secret. Just take that one first step into whatever it is that comes next. Because that perfect moment you've been waiting for, it's not coming tomorrow. It's not next week. It's right here. It's right now. It's time.